Alright, before I begin, Diary of a Wimpy Kid Empty Pockets Part 6, make sure to enter the $30 Barnes & Noble giveaway, link in the description below. Now let's begin. He said that the meat was on our track and we had the home advantage. I feel like we were in ground zero. A bunch of tree branches were flying from the wind and crashing onto us. Mr. Mulaney tried to conduct practice, but it was really hard to run when random debris was hitting you. Poof. Eventually, the last straw was when the stick hit someone in the eye and had to go to the nurse. If I could have named a positive from the situation, it is that Raleigh's discus throws were his personal records. Wow, look at that height. Fling. Eventually, Coach Underwood made everyone go inside and made us do squats and stretches. The wind sucked all the moisture out of me, but I couldn't find a water fountain. I did find water fountains, but for some reason they were removed. I did find a water fountain in the 8th grade hallway, but there was a huge line in front of me. It turns out this was the only water fountain in the entire school. Maybe they were installing new water fountains because our school really likes remodeling stuff. Later, the tech team was giving demonstrations to us in random classes about how to use our tablet device. I don't own a phone, but I sure do know how to use electronics. I'm pretty sure we know more about technology than the tech team. Why isn't this thing turning on? That's the volume button, mister. Click, click, click. Honestly, there's a clear age that separates the line of people who know how to use technology and people who don't. My mom is definitely on the side that has no clue. Oops, I was taking a video. For some reason, my dad thinks that you're supposed to hold down to take a picture. That's why our family photos have hundreds of the same exact picture. Also, Mom thinks that technology is harmful. She says that electronics causes radiation and can cause cancer. When I told Rajik about what Mom said, Rajik gave me his opinion. He said that phones do cause radiation, but they can't cause cancer because the radiation isn't the type that will harm you. In fact, he said that the phone and the microwave radiation is really similar. Are you sure that phones are safe? I'm not mutated, so sure it's safe. The big wheel. Rajik's answer seems more plausible, but it is Rajik, so I can't always believe him. Either Rajik made that up, or he said the first smart thing in his life. Saturday. I was actually surprised the weather was clear and cool, unlike all the wacky days in the past weeks. Dad said that because next week was spring break, he was announcing something huge. Last Easter, we went to Mom's side of the family for Easter, and now it was time to switch up the roles. We're going to Uncle Gary's for Easter. Well, I'm looking forward to that as much as leftovers tonight. Is there supposed to be green stuff on that chicken? Poke, poke. Mom's family is different and dramatic, but on my dad's side, it is a little bit more strange. We've got the uncles, Grandpa, and Gammy. I'm surprised that Gammy is still up and active. In fact, she looks younger when Dad showed us some photos of her. Dad said that we were heading upstate to Uncle Gary's cabin. I didn't really complain because Uncle Gary's cabin was a really nice place, mostly because of the fast Wi-Fi. Last year when Uncle Gary moved out, he had a couple $1,000s with him. He rented an apartment in the suburbs and tried to find a place to live. Uncle Gary eventually did, which was a countryside a cabin with about 10 acres of land in a lake. It turns out houses in the rural areas are super affordable, and you get huge houses and lots of fields. Uncle Gary got a job as a distribution manager, which is basically a person who controls shipments of goods. That was the only job in the area that Uncle Gary didn't need a college degree to get. Now he's in a pretty stable financial condition. I've never been to Uncle Gary's cabin, and I'm really looking forward to what it looks like up close. I've heard that Uncle Gary also has a huge jacuzzi in his house, so you already know I'm getting my hands on the thing the second we get there. Vroom. Sunday. Dad told us a couple more details about the trip. Everyone who was available next weekend was going, and we were going to use a station wagon to drive for 4 hours. Shiver. Now that Grandpa was tagging along, we were going to be even more cramped. Dad wanted his father to be comfortable, so that means Rajik and I will have to sit on our luggages. Great. Rajik and you will be great in the back seat. Monday. Today I was excited, and it wasn't because of the track meet last weekend. My relay team got third out of the 5 teams running in our heat, so a podium finish was pretty good. Of course, Scotty has higher standards, so he still cringed when he crossed the finish line. I think Scotty and I are fine, but he still thinks I'm going to chuck the baton into the bleachers or something. But we've got a decent rank, so he was reluctant to praise us. I mean, that was pretty mediocre. I met Raleigh near his lockers, and we walked into homeroom. And there it was, the new tablets. Mrs. Jansen told us to grab the box with our names on it. The box with the tablet always has a beautiful abstract image, and it makes the product look sleek. Inside, I found a charger cable and a case. To be able to touch the screen, you need to take off the seal, and that was so satisfying. Slick. Hey, that's my nickname. Then Mrs. Jansen just blabbed on about taking care of your tablet and how to start it. Everyone basically zoned out and was downloading games and social media apps. By the time the first bell sounded, people already were texting to their friends and playing games. Tippity tap 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 pow. I looked at what some other boys were doing, and they were adding some strange backgrounds on their tablets. I don't know why everyone was so obsessed with these things. Everyone already has a phone, except for a few exceptions, so this isn't anything new. Plus, it seems like everyone already forgot that Vice Principal Roy said that we weren't allowed to keep them after we graduated. I could tell our electronics were driving our teachers insane, especially when we were learning about measuring cylinders and Noah Barkley was playing some game. So first you measure the circle, which is fatality. Smash. If we kept that up, they might strip the privilege away from us, but everyone in my class didn't mind. In history class, our teacher set up an educational game online for us to play on our tablets. I was glad at least Mr. McNeil could combine the technology with something fun. The game was where a series of questions was shown, and you had a short amount of time to click on the right answer. 8. That seemed pretty basic, but many of my classmates thought it was boring. Katrina tried to ask if it was a grade, but Mr. McNeil already started the game, and the game music droned her question out. The quiz was about the Mayans, which was not my strongest suit. I made an editing mistake here, so let's just watch this picture for a few seconds. And done. Apparently in the lobby, Mr. McNeil allowed people to put emojis as long as they used their real names. But some boy decided it would be funny if they posed as each other's names, and I explained why there were 4 Jacobs on the leaderboard and Nathan was on the top. Dude, I'm so good at this game. Har har har. Leaderboard. 1. Nathan. 2. Jacob. 3. Jacob. 4. Jacob. 5. Chloe. 6. Jacob. I think one of the smart kids joined in on the act and posed as Nathan, who was not smart at all. Oh no, Patty F loses her 12 win streak. Ow, stop it. This Nathan was slamming down questions the second they popped up, and he was already a couple thousand points ahead halfway through the game. The quiz game was pretty normal, except every once in a while they would show who got it wrong. Keep trying. Oh, shut up. Leaderboard. 1. Nathan. 2. Jacob. 3. Jacob. 4. Jacob. Patty F loses a 7 winning streak. After the game ended, Nathan finished 12,000 points ahead of everyone and got a lollipop from Mr. McNeil. Mr. McNeil told everyone that he was taking this game as a grade. That pretty freaked out a bunch of people. So he allowed a bunch of kids to retake the quiz, except for Nathan, who got an easy 8, and Jacob, who could choose 4 of his scores. I'll choose whatever the largest score was. You'd think the pandemonium would end there, but it didn't. In 6th period, someone found an app that destroyed the pictures you took. Therefore, someone could have a fat nose or squinty eyes. Rally. I decided to try the app on Rally. It couldn't have worked out better. Some guy also found out about Ustreamcast, which allowed you to connect to the smartboard projector. Ha ha hee hee ho ho. Never gonna give you up. I thought that was hilarious until what I saw in 10th period on the projector. Overall, it was a thrilling day, but I knew that Vice Principal Roy was going to enforce rules of some sort tomorrow. I knew Roger Germani was going to mess up my tablet somehow, so I didn't bring it up when we ate pork ramen. Tuesday. Sure enough, my predictions were right. Vice Principal Roy had an assembly and told us he was adding a few modifications so that our devices were for educational purposes. Based on what we have seen, some restrictions will be placed to make these tablets school-friendly. Grown. Keeping students safe. He took out the App Store, which was a huge blow because now our texting controls what apps are on the tablet. He also blocked a bunch of social media websites online and other game links. What kind of agitated me every time you try to access a blocked website, this message would appear. Castme.com. Oops, this site has been blocked by your administrator. This has been reported. Click here to return. Vice Principal Roy also gave teachers access to some feature that will allow them to see what everyone was currently doing on their tablet. Now they could catch people who were off task. Now everyone was super paranoid and had to conceive what the teacher wanted us to do, which I guess was the point for these tablets. We just got cheated off of some middle-aged adults. We lost round 2, but I could tell everyone was looking for payback. Wow, all of you are so productive. Free VPNs. Wednesday. It was now a battle between the students and teachers of who could claim the dominance over the tablets. Some kid found out new ways to exploit the system.